Hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of X Factor American. And today I will tell you the story of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Abraham Lincoln was born in a log cabin. His father was a simple woodsman who built the cabin himself. He was born on February 12, 1809, near the town of Hodgenville in Kentucky. His mother died when he was just 2 years old, so his father had to take care of him and his two younger brothers by himself. Abraham helped his father build houses and fences and chopped wood. When he was 9 years old, Abraham's family moved to Indiana. They lived on a farm there for 6 years. Then his father decided to move again. This time they went to New Salem, Illinois. There were many Native Americans in these parts, so Abraham often had to protect settlers from their raids. He fought in many battles with Native Americans. One time he even saved a girl who was being taken away by the Native Americans. Her name was Anne Rutledge, and she became Abraham Lincoln's first love. Unfortunately, when Abraham was 23, Anne suddenly became very ill and died. She was buried in a cemetery, but her grave didn't have any money or name. Many years later, when Abraham became president, he visited Anne's grave and put a small monument over it. After Anne died, Abraham began working as a storekeeper, but soon started his own business. He bought a lot of land and sold it at a profit. He also became a postmaster and made a lot of money there. At that time, Abraham Lincoln began studying law. He read books on jurisprudence at night while sitting by the fireplace. Abraham studied like this for 3 years and then passed the bar exam. He became a lawyer and began defending poor people in court. He never took money from them. In 1834, Lincoln married an old friend of his, Mary Todd, and they had 4 sons. He was a very kind husband and father. He loved his wife and children very much and always tried to make them happy. Abraham liked to joke around and make funny faces at his sons so they would laugh. He called his eldest son Robbie, his second son Tad. His youngest 2 sons were called Willie and Lincoln. Once Abraham was walking through the park with his son Tad and noticed a group of children crying. They had just let go of a large balloon and it was floating away. Abraham smiled at his son and said, "Don't cry, boys. That balloon has gone to heaven because it's full of God's air." In 1846, Abraham Lincoln was elected to the House of Representatives. At first, he worked to end slavery. But after he became president, he understood that it was impossible to do without a war. So Abraham Lincoln led the United States through the Civil War. During the war, he received hundreds of letters every day asking him to free the slaves. Finally, in 1863, he signed the Emancipation Proclamation. From that day on, all slaves in the southern states were to be freed. In 1864, Lincoln won the presidential election and was re-elected for a second term. He managed to lead the Union Army to victory and preserve the Union. But happiness did not last long. On April 14, 1865, Lincoln attended a play at Ford's Theater with his wife and 2 friends. Suddenly, a man rushed into Lincoln's box and shot the president in the head. Lincoln was taken to a house across the street from the theater. For several days, doctors tried to help him, but he never regained consciousness. On April 15, 1865, Abraham Lincoln died. He was only 56 years old. His body was taken to Springfield, where he was buried. Hundreds of thousands of people came to say goodbye to the president. People from all over the country mourned the loss of Honest Abe, as he was affectionately known. During his lifetime, Abraham Lincoln was considered a tall, thin man with an unusually shaped head. In fact, he was 193 centimeters tall and weighed only 74 kilograms. Abraham Lincoln is still considered one of the greatest American presidents. He rescued the country from civil war and freed the slaves. We can see his example of leadership and courage to this day. Now I will tell you some interesting facts about Abraham Lincoln. 1. Abraham Lincoln was fond of wrestling. When he was young, he even challenged the strongest men in the county to a fight. Lincoln won most of his matches. 2. Abraham Lincoln was one of the first American presidents who lived in the White House. Before him, only 2 presidents lived and worked there. And now I'll ask you a few questions. What year was Abraham Lincoln born in? What was the name of Abraham Lincoln's first love? Who was the first president to live in the White House? What document did Abraham Lincoln sign that freed the slaves? Leave your answers to these questions in the comments. That's all for today. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. Then you will never miss any interesting videos. Thank you, and see you in the next edition.